Hi, good afternoon. I'm Lito Mendoza again. I would like to continue my presentation to you about who am I and what I've been doing and how I work with other different companies and I come to learn the real estate business. Today is May 14. It's about what's our time now? It's about 3:30, and I would like to continue my presentation to you about myself. It's like presenting to you my resume, so that you will know whether I'm capable or in a position to give you this presentation or advice. Yesterday, I discussed to you my previous work in real estate. I worked with a real estate company, Malinilo Town, then the musical industry, Yupanco Yamaha, then Trebel. I'm the marketing manager of Trebel. And then I trained scientific sailing on sailing sports club, which I employ really the scientific sailing, not really house to house, office to office, going to different office, and I really very successful. This type of scientific sailing, I always explain to the seminar of future salesmen, of those salesmen who would like to be a top-notch and recognized salesman, not an ordinary salesman, a top-notch salesman. So after the Sports Plaza Sailing Sports Club, I decided to re-enter the real estate industry. And based on my study that time, that's about 1987, 80, 81, 79, 80, 81, the real estate industry is picking up. During that time, very popular or very strong in the market is the Fairview. RGB sold a lot of uh, properties, or he is the exclusive marketing company for Fairview. So he became so well known in that project. So I read in the newspaper he's the well known real estate broker. So I joined real estate company. So I joined with him. So with RGB, I stayed there at least maybe about 2 years, selling project selling, subdivision. But I was signed selling in Santa Rosa, uh, and then in Intercity in Parañaque, and then in what you call it, in other projects in the south. I concentrated in the south, not in the north of Fairview. I did not join it with Fairview because there's a certain group who's handling that. Then with RGB, I would like to practice my management skill, and I would like to manage my own sales force. So I joined AC Aguirre Management Corporation, a real estate company of Mr. Bobby Aguirre, the husband then of Pinky De Leon. So I worked with him. I was appointed as sales manager. My boss is the vice president for marketing, Mr. Ricardo Laudico, now also in real estate. I'm also instrumental on how he became a successful or broker during that time. And then I worked with Asia Aguirre, I think about maybe mga 2 years or about less than 3 years. I market I market the townhouse in BF, the Southland. If you still remember, if you're from Parañaque, I'm the sales manager of the townhouse of the Southland townhouse area. It's owned by uh, Bobby Aguirre. So that time, it's very hard to sell townhouses. So I employ different kind of marketing strategy. So there I practice how to recruit, how to organize, and sales force. So I think that time I have 5 agency. Then the agency manages their own about 10 people, and then we conduct weekend. That time I almost work 7 days a week because every Saturday and Sunday I'm at the BF Homes Parañaque and BF Homes Las Piñas. So I'm there every weekend and we conduct open house. I bring clients, we bring agents, and at that time, my marketing strategy is open house. We put up snacks, merienda for our clients, and the different strategy that I introduced there is horseback riding. So I borrowed the horse of my boss, Mr. Bobby Aguirre, to, to do horseback riding. So the families bring their children for horseback riding. Very successful. Anyway, so that's it. And then after 1983, during my work, uh, I I come across a salesman who have a property of their former company, and he wants to lease the commercial property. And then he introduced to me, and I market it, and I try to look for clients, and through Yellow Pages, before we have a Yellow Pages, so I introduced the said property. It's in Camagong, Makati. So it's a big property, not really big, but medium size commercial property. In 2 weeks, I was able to rent that, and I received a substantial commission. And then since the time, I already come to my mind of what to sell, of what to do. So that time, because I'm not allowed to sell the property because I'm the sales manager, I'm not allowed to sell the townhouse. So I don't have any commission. What I have only is an overriding commission. So I continue looking for properties. And that time, I continue what you call, looking for properties to lease out, commercial properties to lease. I go to Pasig, go to Bikutan. I'm with my children. I'm driving, and then my children says, "Pops, for rent, for sale." I remember they'll always be with me. Saturday, Sunday, on Sunday, after our attending our mass here at Broadway. So we go to different area in Libis. Libis is very commercial and becoming so commercial. Pasig, Bikutan, Parañaque, Sukat. Looking for listing every Saturday, Sunday. I'm doing that. I'm with my family. So my son will always keep writing all the signs on the wall, on the building, the commercial building, for rent. So, I remember sometimes, "Pa, for sale." Hindi pala for sale property. Ice for sale. Kaya tawa na kami. We have a big laugh and we enjoy then we eat outside and we go home afterwards. And then on Monday to Friday, we'll call them and then meet the owner and then look for buyers, look for seller. So that's it. That's what I'm doing while I'm still working with AC Aguirre. After making some sales, after making some sales every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, so I decided to put up a small office at E. Rodriguez, near the Quezon City Sports Club. Because I live somewhere in Christ the King, so I get an office space in somewhere in front of Quezon City Sports Club, and then a small office there. So I get an employee, one-man employee. He used to be in Lucena, who visited me, a fraternal brother in fraternity. He wants to work in Manila, so I told him, you stay there, so you'll be my first stop. So that's it. That's the start of my business. That time, I used the word E.M. Mendoza. E.M. Mendoza. So yeah, I used E.M. Mendoza Realty as single proprietorship. And then the name itself not really sounds good. So what I did, I incorporate the name Cityville Realty and Development Corporation. So that's it. And that's where I started my real estate business on my own. So after, when I decided to quit in 1983 in the AC Aguirre, I get a secretary. So I get a secretary, and then I remember my secretary is only in half day. I think afternoon only, or Monday or morning only. Basta half day, because through that time the business not yet so good, so I can only afford to have a half day, and he likes it because he just nearby our office, and then he just walk, and then he's a part-time mother, so that's it. And then when we are already making good business, I hired him on a full-time basis. So that is my City Bill Realty. And from then on, continue working. I bought a van, an old van, Toyota Hiace. Aside from my Toyota Corolla, I have my van. So whenever there is a need for me to bring clients on a big group, I have a, and eventually, the story is, I'm leaving, I transferred when I'm making money there already. I'm making good sale. I transferred, you remember, I transferred to a townhouse in New Manila, worth 3,500. And then I remember, I don't know whether I mentioned it to you, I rent that for almost maybe 5 years. And then 3,500, 4,000, or 5,000. And then during that time, maybe 1983, 85, 84, 85, when I'm renting the said unit, uh, the nearby unit was for sale. I bought it, and then I rented it for how much? I rented for maybe that time 8,500 while I'm renting 3,500. So I have a surplus, or what you call this, anong tawag doon? Excess money of about 5,000. So you see, that's how investing is in the real estate. So I'm renting a 3,500, and then I'm renting out an 8,500 plus my condo that time in the near Ortigas Center in the Meralco Avenue. That's I'm renting that to 4,000. So at that time I have 9,000. So little bit financially good. So what else? So my neighbor said, "Oh, bakit hindi ka lumilipat dito? Eh, iyon na yan." So, no, I just want to rent it. And then I bought another one in another adjacent property of mine after mga 2 years. And then that was worth 5 million. It's very expensive. And my friends here, why did you buy that one? It's very expensive. And that's it. I told them, that time when it's being offered for 3,500, I don't have money. But now I have money, I have to buy that. I like it. It's a corner unit. So yeah, that's it. Still with me. My son now is using that. No, so I have 3 units. I'm renting a townhouse unit. I have what you call it, a condominium, a townhouse, and another townhouse. So it's 3 units. Oh, that time I never mentioned to you, at have a good experience upon other property. Marami kasing property na na I'm trying to what you call it, another property that I'm trying to negotiate that time. So you can see that time 1980 80 what 85 84 85, that's already, I have 3 units. I'm renting an apartment of 3.5. So meantime, I'll take a break because it's already 15 minutes, and I'll continue my small real estate investing or real estate investment, because I would like to share with you that even though you're renting, you can be financially stable. Huwag mahihiya. Huwag mahihiya. Kasi minsan nahihiya pag nagre-rent eh. Alam nila nagre-rent ako. So hindi ako nahihiya because for I know that I have several rental. So I already discussed to you my pointers, my educational background, my work background, and then how I started my real estate career up to CityBuild Realty. So up to now, I don't know how many years now, but I always say it's 30 years already. The CityBuild Realty is there, still same. Commercial property, trying to buy, if good, and then lease it, keep it, and that's it. Minsan kasi pag binenta mo, parang nangihinayang ka after a while. I'll tell you the story on some of my property that I purchased and then sold, which today pinanghihinayang ko. So anyway, ganun talaga. Thank you very much. God bless. And have a good day. And maybe, as at what I'm telling, maybe next week we'll have a normal life. Thank you, Lord.